Good morning, it's now 20 to 9. Let's first of all wish everybody good luck for the second night of the Young Farmers Concerts. They continue tonight and tomorrow at the Gaiety Theatre, and the World Bonnig Championships tonight at Dalby. If you've entered a Bonnig or you're taking one along a little bit later, then we wish you all the very best of luck there. And let's have a bit of a dig around the news now to take a look at one or two stories you might not have heard about. Tim, would you like to start us off today?
Yeah, this sounds like the flight from hell, basically. A passenger on a plane in the Philippines has been shamed for clocking up a host of travel no-nos. A fellow traveller took a photo of the man, so he got outed as well. It's gone around social media. He was sleeping across all three seats on the flight. Not only were his bare feet dangling off the edge, meaning people in the aisle had to step over him, he also had his hand down his shorts, is the only way I can say it.
Goodness me, that's an absolute no-no, yeah, anywhere.
And his face mask, presumably being worn due to the coronavirus, was on his chin instead of his nose. And people have commented, I'm sure his hand will be touching the seat trays next. This is just 50 shades of wrong. And another on my flight to Manila, some people like to make themselves right at home. I like the chin mask. Now, also on the same flight, another passenger, and this is even worse in many respects, believe it or not, was drying their underwear under the air vents.
What?
Goodness me, I hope they took the underwear off carefully.
I fear to ask, but why was it wet?
Yes. This is the flight from hell. You're absolutely... Give me turbulence any day over all that going on. And that's saying something from me, because I'm not a great flyer at all. No. But yeah, I mean, you do see people, don't you, when you're sort of travelling, particularly across on public transport, feet on seats. That happens here on the bus. I see that regularly. That's one of my big sort of absolute no-nos.
I just seem to be really unlucky on flights, and I'm particularly not going to take a flight at the moment. I always seem to get sat next to somebody who's coughing repeatedly on the flight. Yeah. And of course, you don't want that at the moment.
No.
Really, do you?
That's very true, isn't it? Myself and Sian have both got sort of maritime stories, I suppose. You're heading to the beach for your story, Sian.
Yes. So this is a kind of study, a compilation of bits of information by the National Trust, who have been examining the oddest objects to wash up on beaches.
Where's this one
Britain.
going?
So they have found some Russian fly spray.
Right.
US Prohibition-era rum.
Okay.
Shoes from the 1800s, and possibly my favourite, a Peterborough City Council bin, which had washed up in Norfolk. Yes. Which is about 60 miles from where it started.
It's one to put to Bill Dale.
Isn't it? Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's an interesting point, actually, too. I wonder what, beach buddies have found to be the most bizarre items that have washed up on Manx beaches. So, do we ever get trolleys washing up on the beach or anything
sure
like that?
We probably do. I'm sure there's a story. I'm sure it was an interview Dolan did a while back about the Tim Bath races. One of them sank and it washed up in the Mersey.
Oh, I do remember that now. Yeah,
yes.
That's a heck of a way to go. I mean, it's 80-odd miles, isn't it? So that's impressive. Yeah, we'll have to...
we'll put that to Bill next.
Bill about that. Yeah, absolutely. The Peterborough Council wheelie bin. And staying with, as we say, maritime matters from myself, Peel, as you may well know, is getting a new lifeboat. And... the lifeboat arrives this weekend. It's the Shannon RNLI 1335. It's been picked up from Poole by some of the team there at Peel, and it's heading our way now. They stopped overnight in Brixham, just looking at the Peel Lifeboat Facebook page. So they're making their way sort of back up to the Isle of Man. And if you want to go along and watch, I think this will be a fantastic sight. On Sunday lunchtime, this is when the Shannon will arrive in Peel. She'll rendezvous with the former lifeboat, the Ruby Clary, as well as lifeboats from Port St Mary and Port Erin. And approximately 12:30 Sunday lunchtime, sort of around the back of Peel Hill, Peel Castle. So maybe a little head up the hill there, you'll get a fine view. And then the flotilla will be led by the Ruby Clary into Peel Bay, arriving at 13:35, 25 to 2. That's because 13:35 is the unique call number for the boat. The most advanced lifeboat in the RNLI fleet. It's more manoeuvrable, safer, faster, and has a greater range than the lifeboat it replaces. And it's got a jet propulsion navigation system as well. So great to have facilities like that here in the RNLI. What a cracking job they do, no question.
They've been doing a lot of work, haven't they, on the lifeboat house as well at Peel?
It's all going on there around the harbour.
Presumably to fit the new vessel in.
That's it, yeah. So great, and they and all the teams around the island do a brilliant job. So yeah, if you want to go along from about 12:30 then, at the back of Peel Hill is where they're all rendezvousing, and then 1:35 or 13:35. It'll be a fantastic sight.
What's the weather like on
yes, let's have
That
a
is
quick
the important
I think
question.
we're not so bad. Scattered showers, bright or sunny intervals developing, and a fresh westerly wind.
Oh,
so,
it'll be blowing straight into Peel then.
It's a little bit breezy, but hopefully dry. So yeah, if you fancy going along, you'll be more than welcome.